Those of you who know me well will recognise that I find it extremely difficult to be quiet and still. My brain and my mouth are both almost always going at 19 to the dozen, even if my feet aren't. Sadly, my brain and my mouth are not always synchronised with each other. That fact gets me into bother sometimes. The thing is, it's often easier to keep moving, to keep on doing, to be busy and active all the time, than to sit like this and allow myself to think too deeply. Maybe it's to do with the underlying knowledge that it's not so easy to hit a moving target. I've often wished that I could be a mystic. You know, the sort of person who sits and thinks deep thoughts, who communes with the Almighty on a deep level. At my age, I've come to realise that I'm never going to be that person. But just occasionally I see something or hear something that brings me up short, that catches me unawares and surprises me. And today it's the fact that Christ's advent, his coming into this world, into our lives, into our hearts, generally happens in quietness, in stillness. I make a mistake if I allow my butterfly brain to prevent me from recognising Christ when he appears. Our music today is not actually a carol. It's a song that recognises that it is to the quiet heart that he comes. But before we listen to the song, I'd like to read you a poem by Pauline Wardle. It's called Nameless Carol. They were only common shepherds on the hills. They were watching over sheep on a night so cold and still. They were ordinary men like you and me. We need no special gifts when God wants us to see all the glory of his Son and declare that he's the one who has come into the world to set us free. Like a blast of brilliant trumpet brass bursts the silence of the skies, like a bright illumination that dazzles in our eyes. Like angelic voices singing songs of overwhelming joy, God comes to earth, God comes to birth as a baby boy. They were rich and wise and came from lands afar. They had faith in something special when they trusted in the star. They had frankincense and offered myrrh and gold. We need no special gifts when God starts to unfold all the mystery of his grace. Heaven in a baby's face when he comes into our world to set us free. Like a blast of brilliant trumpet brass bursts the silence of the skies, like a bright illumination that dazzles in our eyes. Like angelic voices singing songs of overwhelming joy, God comes to birth, God comes to earth as a baby boy. Let us celebrate the future that began with the miracle in Bethlehem when God became a man. Let spontaneous gladness burst out everywhere. We need no special gifts when God wants us to share his incarnate living self, the jewel of heaven's wealth he has sent into the world to set us free. Like a blast of brilliant trumpet brass bursts the silence of the skies, like a bright illumination that dazzles in our eyes, like angelic voices singing songs of overwhelming joy. God comes to earth, God comes to birth as a baby boy.